So thank you very much, everyone, for coming today. We have like 24 people that reserved the spot, but look like a few people make it, so that's very good. The other people is online, so thank you everyone over there in Oregon. I think are people from Arizona and some people from California, from another branches. It's a pleasure for me to introduce the person that I really love, admire, and the energy that he has. I don't think nobody has the energy that Daron Campbell has it. And so I'm very happy to have you here in Icon Landing today. He is the owner of Daron Campbell Capital. He is also an investor, a coach. He coaches people how to do flips. So if you're interested in flips or want to put your capital under his wings, he is incredible to convert and make a lot of money for everyone who is, giving the trust to him. Also, he was in Chicago before he came to California. And over there, he was the billion-dollar top producer for many times. So he's a top producer, and we are very, happy to have him here today. He's going to be talking about mindset, leadership, and teamwork, which is very important for, having our businesses to go to the next level. So I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy. And after that, we're going to have a delicious salad. Sorry, guys, the salad I prepared here and a good pizza. Okay, drinks and water is over there. So thank you, everyone, and just start it there. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody feel? Good.
Great.
All right. All right. So today to learn how to make more money. That's what I say, right? The thing is, Sonia asked me to come and talk about mindset, leadership, and teamwork. And I plan to talk about each of those topics as it relates to making more money. So that's kind of like the end of every sentence you hear me talk about. It's like, how does that relate to making more money? And because to me, money is symbolic of freedom. See, money changes your capacity and your ability to affect things, right? So I say, let's unleash our ability to make a whole lot of money or make more than we've made previously. And then that creates all kinds of new avenues for us. And so I'm going to talk about those three of my favorite topics, but as they relate to you in your day-to-day and how they help you make more money. So first of all, I'll just add on to Sonia's introduction, tell you a little bit about who I am and a little bit about my track record. I was born in Chicago, moved to LA when I was in high school, actually, and went to UCLA, graduated with a degree in economics. And shortly after, well, I'll tell you how I landed where I landed. I had a bunch of job offers. I actually had 13 job offers on graduation day. And the most interesting of those job offers was the university, UCLA, actually offered to hire me in the fundraising department. They call it development, fundraising department. My job, I took that job because it was the most interesting. I had bank offers, I had research offers, analyst offers, because I had a degree in economics. So come on in, guys. So the reason that job was the most interesting to me was because my job was to.
No, ya la pagué. You want to listen?
Oh, can you just put in silent, guys? Let me just put in silent yourselves, everyone, please. Thank you.
Hey.
So my job was to research all of these wealthy UCLA alums and figure out how much money we should ask them for. So I found that interesting. I was like, I get to research all these wealthy people and decide how much the university ought to ask them for as a gift. So I took that job, and in my work, I used to sit in a room about this big by myself that was lined with shelves and shelves and shelves of files of everybody who had ever gone to UCLA, what kind of work they did, how much money they made, how much net worth they had. It was interesting because I didn't know the university kept this kind of information. Kind of like an interesting secret. And so I get to study these folks and go back to my boss and say, well, this guy is a wealthy surgeon and he owns 50 houses and his net worth is $9 million. So we should ask him for, there's a formula for how much you should ask a person for your university like that. So we should ask him for $500,000 over 5 years or whatever it was, right? I found this very intriguing. So during the course of that year that I worked there, I'm studying all these people. The interesting thing was the wealthiest of them had lots of real estate. The wealthiest of them, I don't care if it was a wealthy attorney or a surgeon or whatever, most of their net worth came from their real estate holdings. So here I'm getting a clue now, right? I'm going, what's the common theme with all these multimillionaires? Real estate. They might have made $500,000 a year as a surgeon, but his net worth was $9 million because of his real estate. Interesting. And then the biggest gift up until that time, the biggest gift anybody ever gave UCLA was a guy named John Anderson, wrote an $18 million check as a gift to the university. And not right now, the business school is called the Anderson Graduate School of Management. So the point is, and what was he? He was a big real estate investor. So again, the theme kept recurring, hitting me in the head, real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate. So one day I walked into my boss's office and said, I quit. He was like, you quit? Why? I go, I got to get into real estate. And so I quit that job that day and went and got my real estate license. And that's where my journey has come from. It started there, 22 years old. And here we are a lot of years later. And I've been blessed. I've closed $4.5 billion worth of real estate transactions and decided that that was where I was going to dedicate my focus and learn how to win this game. And so now, not only do I still practice real estate every day, I still represent my clients in all their purchases and sales, but I coach real estate agents and mortgage agents, and then I also coach investors. I teach people how to win this real estate game on multiple levels. And so
We need to say, excuse me, ladies, can you just put in mute? Mute yourself.
people on Zoom, please mute.
People in Zoom, how we can do this to mute? And which one?
And where you were at.
Here?
Click
It doesn't open.
on the, click on the.
We push it.
No, where the talking, just talking the bottom right.
The bottom?
No,
There.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, do the.
Okay, now go minimize.
No, do the squares, all the ones. to the
Oh,
bottom right.
Oh, the squares.
Oh,
You would
Yeah.
mute everybody.
Oh, now es everybody.
No, Daniel, le tienes que abrir para que.
Click on the square.
Eso es lo que quiero abrir este de acá.
Todos los cuadritos.
¿Cuál?
A la derecha.
No me deja. Ok.
Ahora usted le
¿Quién está hablando?
Ahí.
Ciudadana.
Todos.
Ya está.
Angélica le tiene que poner mute usted.
Arriba.
Ahí.
¿Quién más está hablando?
Puede girar, ajá.
I think that's.
Sí.
That's it. Okay, guys.
okay.
Todo el mundo está mute. Yeah. Sorry.
Give me
Go
that.
ahead. Sorry to take your
No,
inspiration
it's okay.
away. I put minimize?
Yeah, right
Yes.
there, yeah. It's gone. There you go.
Hasta luego. Okay, bye.
All right. All right. So that's kind of the story of how I found real estate and decided this is where I'm going to make my fortune. And so I jumped into the real estate business and immediately fell flat on my face. The first year in the business was a learning experience because I didn't know systematically how to start building a business. I knew how to pick up the phone. All of my first senior agent ever told me was, here's a directory, pick up that phone and start asking people if they want to buy or sell. So I did that with minimal effectiveness. What I quickly found out is there are systematic ways to build a business, not just have a real estate license and be this fly by night, get lucky sometimes and not other times. That's not a business. You might have a real estate practice, you might have a real estate license, but you're not in business if you don't have systems that are predictably bringing in leads and predictably knowing how you're going to convert a prospect into a client, and then how you're going to manage a transaction from A to closing. You see, a lot of times we get our real estate license, but nobody really ever taught us how to sell. And a lot of times we like to even call ourselves things other than salespeople. I don't mind you calling yourself an advisor, or consultant, or whatever. But at the end of the day, we are salespeople. And we ought to be proud of it because salespeople make the world go around, right? Any business, the last people you can lay off in a company is the sales team. Everybody else is disposable to an extent, but the rainmakers are the salespeople. So if you hone your craft and become an expert seller of things, you'll never be without a job. I tell somebody, if real estate disappeared tomorrow, I'd go to Mercedes-Benz and I'd sell 150 cars a month, because sales is sales is sales. And the people that want to be in control of their income, whether they're an entrepreneur, business owner, real estate agent, mortgage agent, selling, they realize that sales is the most important component of that company, period. You might have beautiful offices and you might have all the smartest people in the world, but you don't have anybody selling, you got no business, right? So I like to bake the sales skills that we all need into every talk that I have. And so let's talk about growing. Growing means growing your income, growing your business, getting bigger, getting more lucrative, more profitable. There's only 3 ways to grow. Only 3 ways. And the first is, I like to put these in the right order. The first way to grow is to get more clients, get more customers, right? That's a pure way to grow. If I get more customers, I'm growing my business. The second is to make more money from each sale. That's a way to grow, right? The third is to get people to come back and buy from you more often. That's really it. There's only 3 ways to grow your enterprise, to grow your business, to grow your company. Those 3 things, and that's it. So if you want to make 50% more than you made last year, you gotta incorporate something to make one of those things happen. One of those 3 things has to happen in order for you to increase what you did last year. My goal is always to get somebody to make 25% minimum more than you made last year. So predictable growth, again, a system that then can predict growth. And I think a lot of people in real estate and lending, et cetera, fail to have a plan to grow and a system that helps them grow and a predictability that helps their business grow. If you don't know how you're going to grow your business, don't have any mechanisms in place to be better next year than you were this year, then you'll be the same or worse, because the market's going to change. It's going to probably move against us, like we've seen in the last year. It's moved against us in most cases, interest rates, inflation. Those things have softened our market. So if you don't have a plan to grow and get better, then the market is going to shrink your business by default. Can't let that happen. So that's kind of why we talk about everything that we talk about. We try to bake it into how we can grow and get better. So the way I start with helping you grow is making you think about what you want your future to look like. That's I think a lot of people imagine what they like the future to be, or think about what their goals might be. But I like for people to really spend some time and focus on what you want your life to look like in the future. Not just hopes and dreams and I wish I had more money and maybe one day I'll make more money. But I think you should really try to imagine what you want life to look like. Your future will, and then if you do that on a regular basis, your future will help you prepare for what you need to be doing in the present. But if you don't lock in and decide, then start to imagine, start to work on what your future life, what you want your future life to look like, you won't really know how to focus on what to do today. So what I try to have my students do is I want them to project what do you want your life to look like in 5 years? You want it to look just like it looks now? Or do you have goals and plans and dreams for something greater, bigger, more spectacular, more mellow, more calm, more, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not here to dictate what your goals and dreams are, but I am here to encourage you to focus on what you want your life to be. And I always tell people, go 5 years out, and then we'll look at what 3 years should be, if that's going to be your life in 5 years. And then let's look at what that means next year should look like. And then that should help us decide what we need to do today. 5 years out and back it all the way down. And that'll help you decide what action you should be taking when you leave this room today. The future drives your present. So here we go. I say, decide who you want to be 5 years from now, imagine what you want that life to look like. I say dream in color. I know what kind of car I want to drive in 5 years. I know what kind of house I want to live in 5 years from now. And ironically, it's different than what I have today. It's very, very different than what I have today. So I want to assume the consciousness of the guy that's going to be 5 years Darren. Darren in 5 years is a different guy than Darren today. I want Darren's life to be way different than Darren's life today. So I have to start acting as if that's where I'm going. You don't know where you're going, you won't know how to prepare yourself to get there. You know really where you want to be, you'll start acting like that person on the way, right? And so I say you don't have a fixed mindset. Without hope in your future, your present loses meaning. You don't really know what you want to do today because you don't really know where you're going. If I don't know that I want to go to New York, I won't know to drive my car east. If I'm not going anywhere, it won't matter which direction I point my car, right? So if you know where you want to go and you're specific about it, your actions. Here, you do this. No, they're not there. They're not. So I encourage people to dream in color. Get specific. I make all of my students. We usually take Thanksgiving weekend to plan next year, and I make everybody do a vision board. And we do a vision board, and we get really specific about what we want to make happen next year. Down to the details, down to what color car do you want? How many carats do you want that ring to be? And we get then we get pictures and we put them on our vision board. We do vision boarding together. Yeah.
And we're going to do a vision board in October.
Because I've hosted
September.
I emceed Sonia's vision boarding event a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so it's very important though, because who you've been doesn't equal who you want to be, odds are, 5 years from now. So I say, dream in color, let's plan it out. So that's a mindset shifting exercise. So start to change how you act today because you know where you want to go, right? You'll waste a whole lot less time if you know that you want to be $2 million richer 5 years from now. You know you're not on your way if you're sitting around doing nothing, right? But when you get real specific about your goals, it's amazing how psychologically your brain will start to adapt that concept and start aiming you in that direction. It's almost like magic, but it's really not magic. The science behind it is you have a reticular activator in your brain. And the minute you tell your brain something, your brain starts noticing things related to that something. You notice how when you buy a car, you buy a Honda Civic, all you see is freaking Honda Civics everywhere? That's because your reticular activator now says Honda Civics are significant to us. We're gonna notice all of them, you know? It's one time a few years back, Sonia knows this story. I decided I was going to reward myself with a Bentley, right? Everything I do is like a reward for achievement. I said, when I hit $1 million, whatever day that is, I'm going to get that Bentley right there, right? Told myself that in January. Well, so needless to say, I had a good year. About halfway through the year, boom, I hit $1 million. I went and got that Bentley, right? But anyway, the point is, I thought, what a rare car. Nobody's got a Bentley. I started seeing Bentleys everywhere as soon as I got one. Bentley. What the heck? But the point is, my reticular activator made Bentley significant to Darren. So we saw every Bentley that ever hit the street. That's the same thing. If you teach your brain that this is what I want, your brain will start showing you the path to get you where you want to go. So just practice it. I'm telling you, dream big, dream in color, remind yourself where you want to be, and start acting like that person who's going to get there in 5 years, and then in 3 years, and then in 1 year. Seeing your future self as a different person is key to growing to your ultimate goals. You're going to graduate and become somebody else. You're going to graduate and become a different person. Are you the same person that you were in high school? Think about it. You're not that same person. You've evolved, you've grown, you've gotten better, you've gotten stronger, you've gotten smart, way smarter. I got way smarter because in high school I was out there. But the point is, you're not the same person, and you won't be the same person with the same thoughts, with the same experiences 5 years from now. So think about who you want that person to be so you can guide yourself and have a mindset of a person who knows he or she is evolving and growing. And then I love this. I borrowed this from somebody, but think it was Einstein that said imagination is more important than knowledge. Being able to imagine where you want to be and where you want to go is more important than having to know how to do it. Because if you can imagine it again, your brain, your mind is going to aim you to the place to put you on that path. Very important. I hope you guys agree with that, because this is a very important concept. So as it relates to that, you got to decide what are your goals. And when you think about what are your goals, then that helps you back into what it is you think you should be doing every day. Because if you tell me I need to make $500,000 next year, then I can help you back into what you need to start doing tomorrow morning, right? But people with no goals they're not trying to get anywhere in particular, so I can't draw them a roadmap. If I say, what are your goals? And you go, I don't care, nothing. Then I have trouble helping you with a roadmap. But if you tell me, I want to be $500,000 earner, I want to drive a brand new Mercedes, now I can sit down, I can draw you a map. I can say, here's what you need to do. And we'll back from that number and that goal into what you got to be doing tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, right? But short of that, you're flying kind of blind, right? So I always say, like, what are your 5 non-negotiable habits? What that you should be doing to get you to your goal? What we all know, there are things we need to do on a daily basis to make our job go. Whether we're a mortgage broker, mortgage agent, real estate agent, administrative assistant, doesn't matter. We all know there are particular things that we need to do on a regular basis. I say, break it down to the 5 most important things. Non-negotiable. If I don't do anything else, I got to do these 5 things. For me, early on in the business, it was I got to dial 100 owners a day. I focused on selling apartment buildings, and I needed to talk to 100 apartment owners, or at least call 100 apartment owners every stinking day. This is the Stone Age. We were just cold calling for a living, right? And so one of my non-negotiables, call 100 people a day. Now that might not be how you market or how you prospect, but for me, that was non-negotiable. I don't care what else happened, can't go home till dial 100 numbers. Now, a guy that was actually better than me, earned more money than me, who I sort of modeled myself after I figured out he was the best. He would come in the mornings and he broke it down to, I need to make 4 appointments a day. Now, I was better than my 100 dials a day, because those appointments meant he was going to get 4 cracks at 4 potential sellers, as opposed, he didn't count it in hang-ups and dials, and forget that. A way better goal was I need to set 4 appointments a day. And I remember one day in particular, this guy said, Daron, he had the cubicle across from mine. Daron, I'm gonna set 4 appointments a day, and I'm going surfing afterward. I'm like, cool, sounds good to me. So he starts dialing. 9 o'clock, boom, I got 1 appointment. All right, let's go. Like he goes, I'm trying to get to the beach by noon. Dialing. 11 o'clock, got 2 appointments. I go, how you doing on that noon thing, John? He's like, you only got 2 appointments. Want to leave at noon. Now, noon hits. What would the average person do? Pack up and head to the beach, right? You know what he did? Nothing. Kept dialing because it was noon. He only had 2 appointments. 1:30 comes along. John, you're not out of here yet. What's going on? I only got 3 appointments there, and I'm not leaving until I get 4 appointments. Okay, man, I don't know. The search is going to pass you by. Guys, 5 o'clock p.m. John still didn't have 4 appointments. Still dialing the phone. 6 o'clock, he gets appointment number 4. I go, what happened to serving? He goes, guess I don't get to serve. Just made my 4th appointment. Now that is stick-to-itiveness. That was the first guy in our company to hit $1 million in GCI. That kind of habit, non-negotiable habit, is what made him the first $1 million earner at Marcus and Millichap. And that is the kind of non-negotiable list of things. That's how you got to treat it. This is how we make our living, you guys. It surprises me how our lack of seriousness sometimes, and how easy we are on ourselves, because we don't have bosses, right? We don't have a boss saying, what time did you get it? We don't have a boss saying, you ain't leaving until you get 4 appointments. We have to govern ourselves. And that's why I say, what are your 5 non-negotiable habits? What is it you need to do to keep this business going? Your business. Your business. You're in business for yourself. Somebody else's name or title might be on the front door, but you're in business for yourself. I don't care what you do. You're in business for yourself. How are you growing that business? Important. I always say flow happens when a person has a clear set of goals. You know exactly what your workflow should look like when your goals are crystal clear. And then I say, okay, I want to make $2 million. I want to make $500,000. I want to do 100 transactions, whatever your goal is. I say you break those down to figure out what the next chunk is you ought to do. The goal is $1 million. The goal is 50 transactions, but break that all the way down to what's the next chunk I need to conquer. The next chunk is I need to get 4 appointments this week. I need to meet 4 sellers or 4 borrowers this week in order to make the 20,000 that I want to make this month. Break it down, because sometimes the goal can be overwhelming. Hey, I want to do 100 transactions this year. Sometimes that's overwhelming. So chunk it down to the lowest common denominator. What's the very next thing? How am I going to eat that elephant? How do we eat the elephant?
One
One bite at a time. What's the next bite? When you walk out of this session today, what's the next bite of that elephant you can take? Probably call somebody, call a few people, call your sphere of influence, call 5 people that you did business with last year, find out where they are. Check up on the people that already know and love us. I can't believe how much money you leave on the table by not checking up on the people we already did business with who already know and love us. It's amazing the neglect. If you did business with 20 people last year, you got 20 people who know and love you, hopefully. Hopefully. But the point is, it amazes me how few people follow up with their warm audience, people who've already done business with you. And in Southern California, people move and refi and do stuff all the time. We're the most active audience community in the United States. Southern California people move and refi more than anybody in the country. That means the people you did business with are very likely thinking of doing something else. It's already on their mind. Just follow up with the people that already do business with you. You know, I don't know why, but if we leave those people, if you don't stay top of mind, 50% of the people will go do business with someone else just because they showed up. So there's people that are already in your circle that you neglect. Let's not do that. That's easy money. That's the low-hanging fruit. So I like to encourage people like us who are in sales and need to do repeat business, go back and do some repeat business. Take one half a day, one day a week, and call people you closed with last year. Just because life changes. Life changes. Things shift. People move. People die. People get jobs. People lose jobs. People get transferred. And in many cases, if you're not top of mind, they'll go with the next person that offers. And you just missed out on a paycheck. Has anybody here heard about a friend or a family member who did a deal that they could have done with you that they didn't because you weren't around? It happened to me. That's the worst kind of money to lose. Money that you should have had and could have had you just shown up. Those are the ones that hurt. Those are the ones that hurt the most. All right, let's keep it moving. It's not gonna move. It doesn't. Okay, my mouse is not working now.
Click there, the clicker one.
The clicker, I think the clicker is.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, gotcha. So let's talk about leadership. Now, when Sonia asked me to talk about leadership, I thought to myself, well, she might be thinking one thing, I'm thinking about something else. Leadership to me is about how you should lead your business and have clients look at you as the leader in your field. You see, if I am the person who people, when they think the term real estate, the first thing that pops into their head is this handsome face, that means I am leading my business. I'm leading my clientele properly. You see, you being a leader means people thinking of you and your name being synonymous with what it is you do, whether you're a lender, whether you're a realtor, first thing that ought to pop in their head when they think real estate or think loan should be you. If you're doing that, then you're being a proper leader. How do you become a leader? This is a big one, guys. Mortgage agents, real estate agents. There's 2 or 3 million of us out there. How do you become a leader? You gotta stop looking like everyone else. You gotta stop being generic. You gotta stop being a commodity. You have to become distinctive. You have to be able to frame people. You have to be able to train people to think of you differently. Because if I think, well, I could call Sonia, or I could call Daron, or I could call Marlon, same difference. I gotta sell the house. How's it gonna get sold? I gotta borrow the money. Any one of them can help me. If you're a commodity, you're gonna lose probably 50% of the business you could have had by looking different. Now, here's where people's eyes gloss over and they go, yeah, but how do I look different? How do I differentiate myself? There really are 2 million real estate agents in the United States. And there's probably over 1 million mortgage agents, maybe more. Are there more mortgage agents than real estate agents in this country?
No,
No?
is it backwards? We are short.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Now,
Guys, please call me.
so how do you distinguish yourself? This is the question people could go, okay, Daron, how do I do it? I say, choose a specialty, choose a niche, choose an area of expertise. Now, that can look like a lot of things. You might say, well, like, what do you mean? I'll give you a story, quick story. When I first started in the business, there was a gentleman in our firm. I sold apartment buildings. We sold commercial real estate. That was my first entree in the business at Marcus and Milchak. There was a gentleman who very cleverly decided he was going to represent doctors and teach doctors how to invest in apartment buildings. Now that sounds really specialized, doesn't it? I'm only gonna work with doctors and I'm gonna teach doctors how to invest in apartment buildings. This gentleman saw his income go from maybe $80,000, $90,000 to well over $1 million in 2 years because guess what? Only worked with doctors. So guess what he then became? The doctor's investment agent. And his reputation became the doctor's investment agent. So guess what happened? All the doctors talked to all the other doctors and said, if you want to invest in real estate, that guy, Brenton, is your guy. And his income jumped. The day he decided to specialize, he passed all of us up in income. And people began to wonder, how the hell is he doing it? Well, you know why he's doing it? How he's doing it? He's saying no to everything but what was in his niche. Now, I know that's hard for you to do. Everybody goes, but I'm going to leave so much money on the table. I'm telling you guys, specialists become rich. Generalists might survive. Smartest thing he ever did. So that taught me a lesson. I immediately changed it. And the specialty can look like a lot of different things. I then shifted my specialty in apartments to 20 to 50 units in Van Nuys, North Hollywood only. And the minute I cut out all that other business, I knew exactly who I was. I knew exactly who I served. And I was able to broadcast that in the streets. And if you fit that profile, you immediately thought there's only one guy to talk to. If you didn't fit that profile, there was nothing to discuss. But if you fit that profile, you knew exactly who you needed to call. And the funny thing was, there were probably about 2,500 or 3,000 of those people that fit into my niche. And then I went on and stole the market share of everybody else that tried to come into that niche. And I dominated that market, became the #1 agent in that market. Specialization is a valuable thing. If you stay general, your income might stay average. Think about it. Think about it. I say then, once you've chosen a niche, and a niche, by the way, a niche could be a geography. It could be an area. It could be a client type. It could be a net worth type. There are many different niches. See, a lot of people think I'm trying to cut down their business and shrink their business. No, I'm just trying to give you a message that you can say that no one else can say. If you can say it and no one else can say it, you are now a specialist. Who do you think makes more money? A heart surgeon or a general practitioner?
Our surgeon.
He probably makes 20 times as much and works 20 times less.
Yes.
Does 2 surgeries a week. He makes 600 grand a year, and the other guy's seeing 400 patients a week. Think about it. Think about it. Who do you want to be? You want to be the heart surgeon or you want to be the GP? Facts. So what you do is once you choose a niche, you build an avatar. Who is that person? They are like for instance, the guy who represented doctors. You were only with doctors who've been in business more than 5 years, who had a practice with more than 10 employees. He knew that doctor had a high net worth. That was his avatar. Anybody else didn't qualify. He didn't even have to bother with it because he knew those guys weren't yet ready. If they were less than 5 years, they weren't yet ready, still trying to find their way, still trying to find their way in their practice. The guys with 5 years and 10 employees, that's an established doctor. That's the guy who's got disposable income. I should approach him, tell him why he should be investing his money, and I'll show him exactly how to do it. And they all sign up. Amazing. Once you know what your avatar is, you know exactly who to talk to, you know exactly what to tell them, and your story fits them exactly. If I say I'm only going to specialize in Cerritos and Downey loans of 600,000 or more, you know exactly what houses to approach. You know exactly what homeowners to approach. You know exactly what to put on your marketing because it speaks exactly to them. You don't have to worry about if you don't make over 50 grand or if your loan is under 200,000, you don't even have to address it because you don't touch that business. But then when you approach the person in Cerritos with a $900,000 house that needs to refi, you've spoken directly to his heart and you're the only choice. You're the only choice. There is no competition. Imagine getting marketed to by a lender that says, we finance anyone in Southern California. Any loan, any size, any shape, any color. You get that in the mail. Okay, great. Well, then you get something from Sonia that says, I focus on Cerritos homeowners who own 4-bedroom, 3-bath homes north of the freeway of $600,000 or more. Get that in the mail, I go, that's my limit. Nothing to discuss. See, a lot of people think farm the whole world because there's a billion people. No. I say farm 2,000 people and get 50% of the market and become rich. That's how that works. So know who the avatar is and aim your marketing right at their skull. And you speak to them every time. You define their needs and their concerns. Now, this is what people fail to do. This is important. People need to watch how easy this is. I've chosen a niche. I've identified who the client is. Now it becomes easy to find out what do those people need and what are their concerns. It's different than people who live in New Jersey. It's different than the people who own condominiums. It's different than people who live in a mobile home park. Your audience is very specific, so the answers to their questions are very easy to get to. What are those people concerned about? Well, let's see. Interest rates went from 3.5% to 7.5%. They're concerned about that. If they have variable loans, they're very concerned about that. So how do I address them? Well, you get to say something very specific to those people. If you have a variable loan, we have a product that is now fixed at 6.9%, and we can get you in with no points. I don't know, I just made that up. But the point is, you get to answer a question straight at the heart of the person that you want to address and know what their questions are. You get to answer them directly. See, what then happens is, you become the obvious choice. All I want to be to my clients is the obvious choice. Nobody can walk in and steal my lunch. If I'm the obvious choice and I'm delivering the answers that my audience is looking for. Find out what they want and give it to them. And if you're not trying to farm 2 million people, you can do it. So watch this. Oh, so this thing's in the way, I should move. Anyway, let's talk about how to dominate your niche. I can move that.
Lower,
With this, this thing right here, right?
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
Let's try that. All right, let's talk about how to dominate your niche. First, you got to have a niche. You got to decide what your niche is. Is it a client type? Is it a geography? Is it a product type? Like for me, it was 20 to 50 unit apartment buildings in North Hollywood and Van Nuys. That was my product type. So I had a niche based on a product type. Brenton had a niche based on a client type. Doctors, 5 years in business, 10 employees and more. Right? You decide. I'm not going to tell you what your niche is. But now once you've chosen a niche, Let me give you a formula for how you dominate that niche. Number one, find out what they want. Okay, let's just use the doctor example. What do doctors want? They've been in business 5 years. They're very busy. They run an office with 10 people or 10 employees or more. They're very busy. What would they want in an investment? They want something that they don't have to deal with every day because they're too busy. But they want something that makes money. But they also want something that grows in value. So I now know what they want. Now my job is to go explain to them that I know how to give it to them. Solve all the problems. I'm gonna sell you an apartment building in a good location that goes up in value and the rents go up 3.5% every year automatically. I'm gonna give you a management company that knows how to manage that building for you. You're gonna get a quarterly statement and a check. Nothing else for you to do, Doc, except put the down payment in and we got the rest. See, I just solved his investment problem. I showed him how I was giving him another job. I showed him how I was gonna grow his money. I showed him how I was gonna put somebody in place to manage it all for him. Answered his question, made it easy for him to invest, right? All right, so find out what they want. That's what they want. What do your clients want? What are they looking for? Then you package it, you give it to them. You decide, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for doctors. I'm gonna find them zero management responsibility apartment buildings in good areas that go up in value on average 3 to 4 to 5% a year. That cash flow. All right, I'm not gonna show them anything other than that, right? And then I'm gonna say it in a way that's believable. What does that mean? I'm gonna show them empirical proof. I'm gonna show them how the last 10 apartment buildings I sold have cash flow, have gone up in value. They were managed by a management company that I recommended that handled everything. Say it in a way that's believable. Show them how it works. So I told you, I know what you want. I'm giving you the answers to what you want. And I'm gonna give you proof that it works. Is there anything else for that person to think about? There's nothing else to think about. Take away their question, take away their doubt by answering the questions you know they have, right? So, here you go. What is your client most concerned with? And this is, I applied this to the loan business because I'm here at iCore Lending, right? But here's something that stings in my way again. I'm gonna move this, but this says, let's see if I can drag that, right?
Yes.
There we go. I love this saying. If you want to know why John Smith buys what John Smith buys, then see the world through John Smith's eyes. Put yourself in the client's shoes and say, what if I were him, what would I be wondering? What would I be thinking about? What would I be seeking? And so when Sonia says, come to iCore Lending, I say, well, what is your client most concerned with when seeking a loan, right? According to my research, in my day-to-day business, and I'm not a loan agent, but I know all my clients get loans when I sell them homes, right? Number one, it was knowing that they're getting the best loan that fits their needs, right? Number one, so most mortgage lenders, in my experience, they tell a person, you should go with me, I'm good, I'm great, etc. But what they many times fail to do is say, we have 30 programs. I'm going to find the one that fits your needs the most. What's most important to you? Stability, fixed rate. Variability, low payment, etc. Find out what they want. But many times, the mortgage person doesn't make it clear to my client that I'm going to research all of these possibilities for you. And I have access to all of them. And I'm going to deliver you the one that's best for you. Now that makes me as a client go, okay, she's got me. Because she's not going to leave anything on the table. I don't have to go shopping with 4 or 5 different loan agents because she just told me she shops them all and brings me the one that's best for me. Because the average client out there is not in this business 24/7 like you are. They don't know. You only showed me those 2. Are there any more? You only showed me that one that your company's recommending. Is there more out there than that? Should I go talk to another mortgage agent and compare? The way to squash that need right there is that we shop all over the place for your behalf. We look at everything and we bring the one that's best for you. Now I don't have to talk to another mortgage agent. And then I find that their next concern is all that paperwork and documentation you guys ask for. Well, now how can I shorten that path? How can I make that easier on them? How can I facilitate that? This is just what I observe with borrowers. These are the 2 biggest concerns. The way you can stand out from the rest, solve those 2 problems for them so that then they go, I can relax. She's got me covered. Now I don't have to shop around. Now I've just eliminated the competition. My goal is to eliminate the competition. If anyone's competing with me, my goal is to smash you, crush you, destroy you by having my client go, oh, no, don't even approach me. Daron is my real estate guy for life because he handles all the details. My clients, I'm bragging a little bit, my clients don't buy real estate from anybody else. Anything real estate related, they call me first. Even if it's something I don't sell, they wait for me to tell them who to go talk to. Now, if you've trained your clients like that, by doing this, handling everything, handling their every need, they just want to sleep at night knowing they didn't make a mistake. You can eliminate that fear by answering those questions. Now you've distinguished yourself from the other 2 million of us. And you answer their fears, and now they're going to relax. It's not your price or your fee. It doesn't matter.
Guys,
To
not
people-
about rates.
What's that?
It's not about rates.
It's not. It's not. It's them knowing that you got their best interest in mind, you covered all the bases, and you can deliver. I'm telling you, one thing that, as a real estate agent, one thing that grosses me out is real estate agents who I just passed a billboard yesterday. I almost pulled over my car and threw up out the window. The sign said, George and Fran, you're the #1 real estate team. And then the next line was, we discount commissions. Oh my God. I almost pulled over to the side of the road and puked out the window. I was like, you guys are gross. You're destroying our industry. Discount commission? You advertise that you discount commission? That's just proof that you don't believe you bring any value. And then we're all just a commodity. Hire him or hire them. It's a race to the bottom if you bring no value. It's a race to the bottom. Those people would have us make 0%, $500, and we'll broker your home. There are deals, ladies and gentlemen, I have charged 7% commission and represented both sides of the transaction, and nobody questioned my paycheck. Why? Because they knew I was bringing value to the transaction that nobody else could bring. Don't discount your commission, raise your commission. Charge more points. Because I'm bringing you something that nobody else can bring it in a way that nobody else will bring it. Place all your confidence in me. Why do you people go out and buy a Bentley or a Mercedes? Because they know they're getting a better car. Otherwise, we'd all be driving smart cars, right? But some people go out and spend $200,000 on a car. Why? This is a better freaking car. Why does somebody pay me 7% on a $3 million transaction? Because I'm a better real estate agent. Plenty of people are taking 3%. Oh, I'm happy to take that, thanks. But if you can convince your client that you're bringing better value, we're in the value business. We're not in the fee business. We're in the value business. You can charge as much as you can prove your value is. No questions asked. No questions asked. You think people walk into the Bentley dealership and say, well, give me a great deal, man. Cut the price, man. No, they walk in and they say, $212,000, shine it up. I'm ready to go. They're not going in there trying to haggle. I'm going to haggle with this Bentley dealer tomorrow. And that's not how it works at the top of the food chain. If you live at the top of the food chain and you deliver Bentley service to your clients, they will challenge your fee. They might go, somebody did this to me a couple of weeks ago. They might go 6%. Is that negotiable? Nope. I said no. Flat out, no. And they had interviewed 3 other agents. Matter of fact, the 3rd agent was walking out the front door as I was walking in, right? And we had the presentation. Clearly, I won the game. I was better than those other guys. But then the magic question came, is that negotiable? And the answer was no. They're like, okay, where do we sign? Just closed escrow on the last price. See, the other 3 guys, I bet you would have discounted, right? But was there respect for them when they discounted? Would they have been respected? No. Then they would beat them up again at the close of escrow. That answer is no. Because I knew I was better than those other guys. I knew I could do a better job. Matter of fact, I knew I could get them a higher price than those other guys. And I did. And I did. But when you know you're good, when you're delivering up here, you know you don't have to negotiate. You can stand confidently in there. And if they said, no, we'll only do it for 4%, I'd have walked out the door. and they'd be calling me right now about an expired listing. So know your value, deliver that value, and fee goes out the window. Price, fee, doesn't matter. All right, so guys, the next step. What's the best way to become the ultimate leader? Leader in your field, leader in your industry, leader in your niche. I'm gonna give you the formula. All right, ready? Let's go.
Ready.
Choose the niche. Take over that niche. Now, I'm gonna give you a formula. Everybody can do this in your own marketplace, in your own niche. Here we go. Create a free resource that addresses your client's concerns. Okay, what do we say in the lending business? We said that they're getting that you're scouring the market, giving them the best loan, and all that paperwork drama, right? And then
for that.
right, right. Okay, so create a resource, create an email, create a newsletter, create a pamphlet, create something that addresses those that you can give to people, right? Answer the question up front. Market it to your audience. Now, this is what's important. Make sure it specifically speaks to them. Specifically, Cerritos homeowners, $600,000 or more north of the freeway. Now, my piece that I create can say, Cerritos homeowners, $600,000 in value or more. This is for you. Boom. Anybody who fits that category, you just got their attention. Instead of, hey, Los Angeles homeowners, Southern California homeowners, there's only 8 million of us. This is for you. This is just for you. I don't believe it. Because you just sent me a piece that you could have sent to 8 million people. Tossing that in the postcard. I'm tossing it. Didn't talk to me. Didn't talk to me. You know? See, this lovely lady has a brown Louis Vuitton bag, right? If I send her a postcard that said, hey, every female, beautiful females who own brown Louis Vuitton bags, I'm talking to you. Guess what? Ding, 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 ding. You know I'm talking to you. There's only 700 of you in California, whatever. The point is, I got your attention because I spoke straight to you, right? It's different than saying, hey, ladies who own purses. There's 150 million of you, right? So think about it. Make your piece. If you don't niche down, you can't speak directly to them. If you don't have a niche or a specialization or geography or a product type or a client type, you can't talk directly to them. You can't say doctors who have 10 employees or more been a doctor for more than 5 years. If you're trying to talk to everybody, can't speak to them. So that's why you get better by getting smaller. You get bigger by getting smaller. Squeeze it down. Squeeze it down. Collect their information, like offer them the information. If you do it electronically, it's best. Because if you can send them an email and speak to them in the subject, they're going to open that email because you just spoke to them. Then you get to tell them, I'm going to give you a special report on how owners of $600,000 or more houses in Cerritos can get refinanced at below market rates. They're going to click for that information. They're going to give you their information and ask you to send them that information. Now they've opted in. Once they've opted in, you own them. Because you get to talk to them every day if you want to. You get to speak to all 2,000 of them with the push of a button. Just leverage yourself and got an audience that is listening directly to what you're saying every time you say it. So you see, this little 3-step process is how you can have an audience of a couple thousand who fit exactly what you sell. Amazing. You want to see your business shift? Try that. Try that one little trick. It'll take you a half a day to create the concept. Answer the question of your audience. Sit down and make a newsletter that answers all those questions, tells them who you are. Buy an email list of those people. Send them the email. They click on it, make them opt in before you give them the piece of information. And now you got a fixed audience. Now you have a perfect audience. Is somebody having their paper towels?
Yes,
you guys, I eat up. I overheat when I get excited.
Thank you.
So if everybody did this, I bet you, I would be willing to bet you I'd come back here in 6 months and everybody would have made 5 extra transactions because of this. I'm telling you, it works. It works like a charm. It works every time. You grow. You grow by shrinking. How about that?
I like that concept.
What a concept.
You know, I think, I have to remember now.
Want some water?
Good, I got my drink here.
Okay.
All right, so guys, I think please, if you don't take anything else from what I say today, try this out. Just, and if you look, if you don't want to just eliminate your business down to one little marketplace, I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying get rid of like all your other clients outside of Cerritos, but just try this with Cerritos. Just try it with Cerritos. Don't deal with all your other people and everything. I'm not saying get rid of them. You'll soon learn that you should just stick with Cerritos. But I'll let you figure that one out on your own. Specialize and take over a market. Become number one in a small market. Beats the heck out of becoming number 900 in a big market. Be number one in one small niche. And watch how your money changes. And then let's see, what did I put here at the bottom? Let's move this bar one more time.
Put it more, you can probably end.
Oh,
At the end.
what can I?
And more to go to minimize, or somebody has questions? Oh, no.
No,
Right there.
that?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, no, you just hide it. It'll pop up at the top.
Okay. Okay, good. Oh, shoot, look at that.
I love this.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back. There, I want you to see this. Then after you collect their information, they've opted in, then you schedule a consultation call to explain how to use the brilliant information you gave them. You see, because they gave you their name, their email address, and their phone number when they opted in to get your information, right? So now you touched the nerve. They know who you are. They're thinking about it. You got their phone number. Now you schedule a consultation call, not to say, let me sell you something. You schedule a consultation call to explain how you use this valuable information that I just gave you. How do you use this information? Well, interest rates have moved 10 times in the last 11 months, and the best way to strategize when you want to refinance your house is to step back, talk to me, we'll scour. We look at 8,000 different lenders, and we pick the best one for you, and when it's that right time, then we work with you. I didn't ask for anything. I'm giving. I give until I get. I offer free things until my phone rings. Right? Give value. Establish that you are the one who delivers value, and suddenly your phone starts ringing. They start seeking you out. It's reverse engineering success, you guys. We try to force success by spoon feeding people information and buy this and sell you. Let me tell you that. We can reverse engineer this thing, give away a lot of free, valuable information, and the phone starts ringing. Amazing. Schedule that consultation call. Don't ask for anything. Offer more. Then, by doing that, you gain rapport with them. But even more important than rapport, is you establish yourself as the absolute, unequivocal expert. No one else knows Cerritos north of the freeway financing better than her. And so, here you go. You become not a replaceable commodity. And this is the best part right here. This is what I love. Those two, that listing I took with the other agents, the other three that were walking out the door when I was walking in the door, when I was done, you know what those sellers thought? We would be absolute fools not to hire that guy right there. When I was done with that presentation, the conclusion was easy. That guy walks on water and those other guys are swimming for their lives. That's what you want people to think. I would be crazy not to go with that lady who just described my market to me, my house to me, my neighborhood to me, the last 30 loans that happened in my neighborhood, the last 15 transactions that happened right here because the focus is right here. I'd be crazy not to use him. And then even if your fee is higher than the three guys that just walked out the door, they still know you're the better value. Wow, now that's reverse engineering your money. Now you don't lose, you win every time. If you win every battle, you're gonna make a whole lot more money than going out there striking out 8 times out of 10. If you win 10 times out of 10, but you only go on 5 listing appointments a week, you get all 5 of the listings. Whose kill ratio is gonna be better, mine or yours? Who's gonna make more money, me or you? I can go on 1/3 of the appointments that you go on, and I can make triple the money you make. Because I never lose. I win 100% of the time. Why? Because I'm not trying to be everything to everybody. who's trying to be one guy who does exactly what you need. That'll win every time. Think about it. Think about it. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? It's counterintuitive. It's kind of like messing with your mind right now because that's not the way you were taught. You taught, it's a big world out there. Let's go tell everybody. I say it's a big world. Shrink it down. Shrink it down. When I used to run a Remax office and we'd hire a new agent, I say, listen, choose a farm, 2,000 houses. Choose 2,000 houses and farm that neighborhood. 2,000 houses allows you to talk to everybody in that farm once a month. That's all you need to do, in my opinion. Talk to everyone in your farm, one way or another, phone, email, or knock on the door, once a month. You do that for enough months, it begin to associate you with the specialist of this neighborhood. Because there ain't no way you're knocking on 50,000 doors a month. He knocks on my door every month or calls me every month. That means he focuses on this neighborhood. And every time I talk to him, he says, well, I'm the Cerrito specialist. Just wanted to check in. Did you know 4 houses sold this month? Here's my my latest report of what's sold in the neighborhood. Check that out. Oh, I didn't know Nancy and George sold for 850,000. Yep, they sure did. Closed last Thursday. Wow, you are the specialist in this neighborhood. And when they get this big job transfer and they got to move, guess what? That's called the specialist. They don't call their cousin who doubles as a hairdresser on Saturday. They call the specialist. That's what you want to become, the absolute expert. And that they'd be a fool not to use you. Boy, it's simple. Now we're going to pivot. We're going to talk about teamwork. We're going to talk about teamwork because when properly utilized, it creates the ultimate leverage that then frees you up to go do what you really should be doing. See, all those of us in the mortgage game and the real estate brokerage game, we don't spend enough time doing what I call RPA, revenue producing activity. We spend a whole lot of time doing a whole lot of other stuff. And if I had to do the math and give you an estimate, I say the average salesperson spends about 10% of their time actually selling. The rest of the time, they're doing all the other things. Really, they should be farming out to somebody else. Let's talk about what that is. So there's 3 pillars in your business. There's only 3 departments that really matter. Your marketing strategy. So how are you reaching people? Your product strategy. What is it you sell? What are those products? What is your knowledge of them? And third, your customer service strategy. How do I treat the people who buy the stuff that I sell? That's it. That's your whole world, ladies and gentlemen. Marketing, that's how you get the people in the door. Product, that's what you sell. And customer service, how you deliver your service and how people feel after it's over. Right? Now, that means there's only 3 things to focus on. But how are those things getting handled? Do you have systems for them? Do you have people for them? How do you leverage yourself, or are you the president of all 3 of those departments? Now, so we got to think about that. So in your business, I related this mostly to the loan game as I know it, not being a loan broker, but I coach mortgage agents all the time. Which role do you play? And who you might have to, your list might be different than this, but I say if you're in the loan business, the way I understand it, the people behind the scenes, that's the processors and the underwriters, people actually like making the loan happen, they're on your team. Realtors, they're not on your team, they should, because that should be where you're getting 20 deals a week from your favorite realtors. Hello, company you're managing, that's the big bosses that walk around trying to look important. I make more than all of them. And then there's the marketing department, and the people who are actually reaching out to putting the material together that you send out. Someone helping you with that newsletter we talked about, or do you do it yourself? And then there's your assistant or whoever is your support. Now, in a lot of cases, some people are wearing 3 or 4 of these hats, right? Many of us start out wearing all of the hats and, multiple hats all the time. But what I say is decide which roles you play and eliminate as many of them as possible. And that means your best hire I ever made was my first assistant. Right? Now, Marlon's my right-hand man over there in the corner. And guess what? I don't touch a piece of paper. I don't touch a contract. I don't write a contract. I don't read a contract. Sorry, don't record that. I don't-
Sorry, don't listen. He doesn't-
Marlon is a licensed agent who is the best right hand ever. Marlon doesn't negotiate deals. That's what I do all day long. My job is to go be the rainmaker, face to face, belly to belly, meet the clients, close the deal. And that's where I step up after that. You want to sell it, Mr. Seller? Yes, sign here. You want to buy it, Mr. Buyer? Yep. Sign there. Talk to Marlon. And then I walk away and I'm on to the next meeting. And Marlon handles all of the 19,000 pages of bullshit that CAR has put out there. I don't even know what half of those pieces of paper say. He does. He can recite them to you. But guess what? That's 7 hours worth of work. And I'm out here making 7 more appointments, meeting 7 more clients while Marlon's handling all that. If I stop to work on that transaction, how many more of those can I do today? None, because it's 7 hours worth of work. As soon as the buyer and seller say yes, talk to Marlon. I'm outdoors. On to my next appointment. How much of your business is leveraged? How much time do you give yourself to go out and make the rain happen? No money comes in if I don't sell something. So I said, Marlon, if I have to stop and look at a piece of paper, somebody's in trouble around here. I don't want to hear about it. So you get an expert on your team. How many experts do you have on your team? How many experts do you need? There are virtual assistants that could do all that paperwork. I just a virtual assistant called me yesterday and said, you can have a virtual assistant to handle your whole transaction for you. And they make $6.84 an hour. I said, what? But it's out there. If you look hard enough, don't tell me you can't afford it. You can find a cheap solution like that to free up more hours for you to go and make rain. If you have the ability to have unlimited income, if I'm in a business, I can make $2 or $3 million a year selling. All I need to be doing is selling, ladies and gentlemen. Not reading over the escrow instructions, not delivering. I don't even know what you deliver. I don't even do that. The point is, I need to go on to the next transaction. I need to go sit the next set of buyers and sellers and go make the next deal. We make too much money to waste time doing anything other than making money. You got in this business to do well. You got in this business to do great. You got in this business maybe to get wealthy. I don't know what I got. I'm in it for the money. Leave me alone and let me go make the money. Everybody on my team, Marlon has 2 other assistants of mine that report to him. He doles out the instructions for them. He talks to the buyers and sellers and say, sign this, DocuSign that, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know how to work a DocuSign, you guys. I swear that. I don't know how to load a thing in a DocuSign. I don't even know the password to our DocuSign. It doesn't matter. My job is to make rain. His job is to DocuSign that crap out to those people. You missed on the disclosure. What? There's like 90 disclosures. What do I look like trying to figure out what that stuff is? Marlon, handle it. You guys got your fingerprints on too much of your own business. Get out of your own way. Farm that stuff out. Get a part-time assistant. Before I could afford full-time assistant 29 years ago, I hired a part-time assistant. She was a pretty bright college kid who came in after class. 4 hours a day is all I could afford. 4 hours a day. But guess what? I handed her all that paperwork stuff and went out and sold some more stuff. You guys got too many of your own fingerprints on your own business. Let it go. Let it go. I used to be a control freak. I used to go, oh wait, I wouldn't have done it like that. Who cares? Did it get done? Stop being a control freak. You don't have to have your fingerprint on the whole business. You're better off letting Marlon figure it out and do it his way. I don't even question Marlon anymore. Do it, man. Is it done? Yeah, did we close? That's all I care about. Too many of you are too busy micromanaging your 2 escrow. If I don't have 10, I'm not in business. If I don't have 10, I'm pissed. I'm upset, right? You got your 2, and you're like spend all day on those 2, so you don't even have time to go get the next one because you spent a month on those 2 and 1 fell out. Think about that. You got to lever up. Get rid of, push stuff off of your plate. Do less. Ooh, how about, there we go again. Make more by doing less. Get that stuff off your plate and get back in the business of making deals. That's why we're here. We're here to make deals. There's other people who are in the business of moving paper around and doing administrative stuff. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, Marlon's the highest paid assistant on planet Earth. We're gonna talk about that later, Marlon. But the point is, there are people who are built for that. This dude is built for that. Nobody's better. That's his lane. Guess what I'm good at? Selling. I'd botch that paperwork in a minute. You know I'd mess that paperwork up. But I can sell. I can convince you to buy his house. For sure. And I can convince you to sell it at the right price. And I can convince you that I'm the best guy to do it. I got you both. I can do that. That paperwork I can't do. Know your lane, choose your lane, know what your team is made of, and get rid of as much stuff from your plate as possible. That's how you lever up. And that's how teamwork can grow your business. Don't be the Lone Ranger. Don't be the Lone Ranger. Share the responsibility. There are people who want to do what you don't want to do. There are people who want to do what you can't do or what you're not good at. I've learned, I know what I'm not good at. Too many of us are control freaks and think we can do it all or should do it all. Let it go. Figure out what you're good at and go do that and get somebody who's better at you at the other stuff, right? That's what I want you to do. Play your part, get rid of the rest. Find your lane, get rid of the rest, right? And that's how you make the team. I mean, a lot of times you have companies, at the companies you're at, they have people who they've hired to do this stuff. In-house TCs and in-house processors and all these things that we try to add to our plate when there's somebody already being paid to do it.
Or sometimes trying to save those 350.
The same $350. Yeah, that's right. You're not gonna go out there and make a deal that's gonna make you $18,000 because you don't want to spend this $350 on a TC. Pay the damn $350. Stop stepping over dollars to pick up nickels. Right? We got in a profession because the paychecks are big and we got to give ourselves more bites at the apple, as they say. Give yourself a chance to go make more of those large paydays. So this is kind of like the lecture part of this is over, but I want this to be interactive. So I tell Antonio, I'm going to open up the floor to anybody's got any questions about how to actually do this, because that's actually the end of my formal presentation. The next thing, what's next, Marlon? Is that the end of it? See, I think that's the end of it. Okay, so I'm going to open the floor to Q&A.
Let's open also the guys in iCoordinate so they
okay.
want to get to. You can unmute, guys, if you want to speak to Daron.
Yeah.
He is right now in the floor. So anything that you want to talk or you want to ask about your teams and ideas, let's interact. Okay,
Let me
so
see.
just go ahead, guys.
Okay.
And I love you, Facebook people, but we gotta go.
You kicking Facebook people out?
Yes.
All right, anybody have any questions? Anybody have any burning questions? Like you said this and that didn't make any sense. Anything?
Well, I just have to say you're doing an amazing job. You're very spot on with all the content. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I do a lot of research on leadership and teamwork,
Mhm.
and we come from the line of education and financial literacy.
Oh, nice.
So you just got right into the point, and it just gives me goosebumps. Because a lot of times we go through like different workshops, seminars, even people with PhDs and graduates from
Mhm.
Harvard and Yale, right? Just make things so complicated. I think the bottom line is that you made it very simple and easy to understand. And I think that's the formula.
That is the formula. Simplify. You notice the common theme of everything I said is about simplification. Shrink it down. They used to say, reduce it to the ridiculous. Let's reduce it to the ridiculous. Life doesn't have to be complicated. This business does not have to be complicated. You don't have to know everything and do everything and be everything to everybody. It's just the magic of one. Choose a specialty, choose a niche, choose a geography, choose a neighborhood, choose a product type, choose a client type, and drill down. Don't go wide, go deep. And then you become known as a person, or you become known for a thing, and everyone comes to you for that thing. Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. Again, I echo what David said, and actually, I just finished reading the book, 10 times easier than 2 times.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's actually like 10x.
Up to next, by Grant Cardone?
By Dan Solomon.
Oh, Dan Sullivan.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dan
really?
Solomon. It's a very powerful book. Whatever you're saying today, everything echo what I read
Oh,
from
good.
that book.
Good.
So I do have a question. You say, okay, I want to find my niche.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you find that your niche, you position yourself, I'm just this salesperson, I'm just focused on this. What if other people outside your niche reach out to you? Do you take it or do you just reject it?
Okay, the answer is, it depends. Because if someone brings me something, if I focus on Cerritos, and then somebody in Downey wants to give me a $2 million listing, and they're realistic, and they are being reasonable, and it's not gonna take me 6 months to get them the price reduced 8 times before that thing gets to be real and gobble up half my life trying to sell it, I'll take it in a minute. I'll take it in a heartbeat. I'll close that deal. I'll make that $50,000. But if that person is difficult, you gotta read the situation, right? If somebody says, hey, you're the expert, I know you focus over here, but I got this house right here, and you examine that, you go through that, and if they're gonna price it exactly where you say price it, and they're motivated to sell, you know you're gonna be able to put it out there and sell it quickly. Don't leave money on the table. I'm not telling anybody just devote your life to Cerritos and don't look anywhere else. I'm just saying, we work hard to find the easy deal. We work hard to find the easy deal. If somebody's gonna be difficult and I gotta drive 15 miles and I gotta go sit in 19 open houses in consecutive Sundays, no thanks. I'll farm that out to my friend who works down. Say, give me a referral fee. But if that person's like, hey, Daron, we need to sell. He got transferred to Kansas. We'll do whatever you say. We'll price it however you say. Let's go. Hell yeah, I'm taking that deal. So I'm not saying pigeonhole yourself. I'm just saying have something that you always can come back to as home base, right? If someone's gonna give you an $80,000 payday and it's just 8 blocks outside your farm, and they're gonna obey you and say, you say it's priced at this, and they say, okay, where do I sign? Yes, take that business. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the integrity of what you do and knowing that you're that focused as a specialist is probably why they called you. You see, it doesn't, some people think I'm boxing myself out of more business. No, you're showing people that you have the discipline to be in a great business. And they call you anyway. Wow, how about that? And then you're not just I don't want to use a bad word. You don't just take any deal. And people know that. And they also then respect what you say about theirs, no matter where it is. And that credibility makes people do what you need them to do. And once again, we've now worked hard to find the easy deal. Wow. I want to list something and I want it gone in 12 days. Right? If you do what I say, you do what I recommend, you respect my opinion, you got to list where I say list. You're not gonna be thinking you got it all figured out and you want this pie in the sky deal, 250 grand above market. You and I both know that thing's not flying off the shelf. You and I both know we're gonna be sitting here 91 days later, being upset at each other. I'm mad at you, I don't wanna call you, you don't wanna call me. We know we priced it wrong in the first place. Made both of us miserable. At the end of that expiration, we hate each other suddenly. I'm afraid to call you because there's no action. You're mad at me because I'm not doing my job. Well, we both screwed up because we didn't price it right in the first place. Think about that. You ever been in one of those? Been on the market 111 days, no action. You don't even want to call that person. You're kind of like, oh shit, I gotta call them and say there's nothing. Right? We're afraid to ask for the reduction. We're afraid to ask the listing's about to expire. 800 people are gonna call the day it expires. We all screwed up. Start out the right way, start out the respectful way, turn down bad business. Not all business is good business. Turn down bad business. One bad listing that takes up 4 of my weekends costs me $100,000.
If you want to ask any questions, guys, you can put your hands up. I connected PDX.
Do we see everybody?
There.
Yes, the Equilating PDX team has a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So we're talking about your ideal, or the idea of, give value, make vile, how we price ourselves at these premium or higher prices normally because we can show that we can have that value with that reasoning. But our question is, how will we incorporate that kind of idea through lending or through being a loan officer? Because for our job, it's a little bit different because a lot of if we show a higher price or given a higher price as like us originating or for a loan, that does take away a lot of how much someone can actually apply for. So that's something that kind of is the caveat if we were to do these kind of higher prices. So
Well,
how could you explain or be best that we can do that?
well, see, and not in every scenario are you necessarily needing to raise the price. What I challenge is their ability to ever question your price. So like you might not do what I do in certain scenarios where I might ask for a 7% commission as a realtor. But what I find in a lot of lending situations is they find out how many points you charge, or they find out how much fees are involved, and then they want to negotiate. I want to deliver so much value that people don't want to negotiate. It doesn't even come up. I'm delivering so much value, they don't even question you. They don't challenge me. I'm not telling you to pile on fees. I know that in the mortgage game, that could change the outcome, change the scenario for that person. But if I want you to be so thorough and so good that you eliminate the need for them to go and talk to someone else too.
So basically show the value, be dedicated, and show that this person actually is working with me. So once we do show them bill, they just go ahead and sign like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and to continue
Because you
going on.
delivered them to the promised land. You did everything you said you were going to do, and you did it impeccably. You did it well. And here's the most important part. The end of the day, on a great note, you performed, you delivered everything, and you now have a customer for life. That's way more valuable than the point or 2 points or point I didn't get. Every time they refi, every time they buy, they're coming back to me. See, I measure my business on how many people swear by Daron Campbell for all things real estate. The acid test is big. I had I love these examples. One of my clients, a real estate agent calls me and says, hi, I just spoke to your client, Mr. Wallman. I cold called him and he said, I don't do anything real estate without Daron. So if you got something good, call him. You got other agents calling you because your client said, I only work with her. That's when you know you set the table the right way. I ain't talking real estate if Daron ain't bringing it to me. That's what you want people to do. And so that's what you're doing by delivering all that value and making sure your value proposition is so strong that you're never going to think about another mortgage agent for the rest of their life. Now, what's the lifetime value of a client who does their first $600,000 loan with you? You know they're going to graduate to $1 million loan 5 years from now, and then they're going to do a $2 million loan 10 years from now. And then the 3 kids are going to get their first house in the next 20 years. Now, if they swear by you, 5, 6, 7 transactions later, you've earned plenty. You see what I mean? It's about value, deliver value, and they marry you for life. I got one family I have sold 57 apartment buildings to. One family. Don't talk to anybody about apartments except this guy right here. Another family, 18 apartment buildings. Another family wants to sell all their portfolio back east. Come to me, a California guy, and say, okay, how do we sell all of our Indiana apartment buildings? I go, let me find somebody. I call somebody in Indiana, say, these are my people, take care of them. And I get a referral check from that guy every time he makes some money. Guess what? I just made money on Indiana real estate that I never see. Right? Because they swear by me. California or Indiana, don't matter. Talk to our guy.
That niche you choose, they swear by you by really helping you at that point. So then we can charge those values and we dedicate and deliver those values. So that niche really focuses on us.
There it is. And people will pay for value. People will pay for expertise. If they know that they can put their life in your hands. Well, look, they're putting their life savings in your hands. They know they can trust you with that. And they know that you handle it with the greatest of care. They know that you go to war for them. Coming to you every time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I have a question. How do you jump from the goal, the belief that you can or whatever to the point where you break through that psychological barrier? So that you take action, so you're always in action.
Well, it's overcoming the belief that you can get there in a way that you take a lofty goal, and that's why you break it all the way down. And in many cases, look, I have 3 mentors to this day. I've sold $4.5 billion worth of real estate. I still got 3 mentors and a coach. And those people have helped me get the belief that I could do. Before it was real, before I knew I could make $1 million, I had some help with people convincing me that I could. I went to a guy or two that made $1 million doing what I do. I realized he's got a system. He puts on his pants the same way I do every day, goes have the same 24 hours, but he's making 7 figures and I'm not. Let me go to him and ask him to mentor me, ask him to coach me. Matter of fact, I did that. At Marcus and Millichap, that first year, I didn't do so great. I went to the #1 guy in the firm. I said, listen, I'll give you half of my paycheck for next year if you teach me how to do what you do. Funny thing was, he said, what? Everybody here hates me. Why are you coming to me? And he was pretty hated to be honest. And I said, are you #1? He goes, yep. I go, that's why. He goes, all right, you got to do everything I say for the next year. And the minute you don't do that, I'm booting you out of here. I go, done. I followed that guy around. I got him coffee. I did whatever. Learned how he did what he did. 3 years later, who's #1? Me. And the fact is, a coach, a mentor, somebody who's done it before. You know what's funny? Super successful people are not, they don't tend to be selfish. They tend to, you ask, they'll tell you. You ask me how I made $2.8 million, was #2 in the world at Remax, I will tell you. You don't threaten me. The successful people aren't threatened by you. They tend to be the most giving. It's the selfish folks that ain't doing much. They're trying to keep everything a secret. This business is not a secret. What the successful people are doing is no secret. The first time I walked in that door and the guy said, you make 100 dials a day, talk to as many people as you can, ask them if they were ready to sell, and if not, who do they know that's ready to sell? Did that 100 times a day. That's not rocket science. It wasn't in the knowing what to do, it's the doing that makes the difference. Will I pick up the phone 100 times? Do I have the guts and the wherewithal and the thick skin to get turned down 98 times out of 100? It's that. But anyway, I suggest, once you've broken it down to the chunks, you go backwards. Like I said, start at that 5 year, who you want to be in 5 years, and back it all the way down, get some expert help if you can, then decide what I need to do tomorrow morning, starting at 8 a.m. And then just, okay, first step is, did I pick up the phone and dial 100 numbers? That's what it was for me. I got no money in the bank and I got no escrows. What do I need to do? Somebody said dial 100 numbers a day. Okay, here we go. Step 1 was check. I could check off 100 dials on Monday. Step 2, I could check off 100 dials on Tuesday. Step 3, oh, got 2 appointments on Wednesday. Hey, this might be working. Step 4, met somebody, said they might want to sell. Step 5, go find somebody to help you figure out how to price this building. Step 6, do it again on Monday. Step 7, do it again on Tuesday. That's so when I say chunk it down, I'm talking about to the ridiculous. Get it all the way down to this. Pick up the phone, dial 100 people. Go knock on 12 doors a day. Whatever your formula is or your prospecting concept is, just start doing it. I find that salespeople just don't do the work 9 times out of 10. We know what we need to do. We can tell everybody, oh, here's what you should be doing. But we don't tend to do the work. The winners, ask them what they did. They do the work every day. Ask them. I know a guy right now. Last year he was number 4 in the world at KW. Anybody and everybody who sets foot in his office cold calls from 8 to 10 a.m. Everybody, every day. Everybody with a license that walks in his office door, cold calls from 8 to 10 every morning. He's been number 4. He's been in the top 10 at KW probably the last 6 years in a row. He himself, millionaire guy himself, picks up the phone from 8 to 10 every morning. Now that might not be your way. Cold calling might not be your way. But you better decide what is your way. The phone ain't gonna dial itself. The doors aren't gonna knock on themselves. You gotta do something to get out there to the people. You gotta get more people. So how do you get more people? Talk to more people. I don't care how you talk to more people. Find a way to talk to more people. That's the secret. Talk to more people. My secret was 100 dials a day. John Walsh's secret was 4 appointments a day. Don't go home, don't go surfing till you make 4 appointments a day. You better have a standard. I can't tell you what your standard is, but you better get one. Otherwise, you're driving blind. You don't know, am I gonna get an appointment or not? I don't know how much money I wanna make, doesn't matter. Where am I going? Don't know. If you don't have a roadmap, you're not going anywhere fast. Yes, ma'am.
How do you prepare the night before your next day, and how do you end your day?
Oh, this is good. I like this lifestyle question. That's good stuff.
Oh, perdón. Iván.
Okay, so let's go in the other direction. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just kind of a vampire. I don't sleep that much. 4:30 in the morning, I get up. The first thing though is meditation. I meditate. And the crazy thing is, when you meditate, you get quiet. Phone's not ringing at 4 in the morning. You get quiet and things start to happen. See, meditation is a tricky thing because people think it's a skill and it's a process. Just shut up. Just shut up and shut your brain up. And you're meditating. And try your best not to. So I took a meditation class after I figured out this stuff is good. And the person said, get quiet. And since you're trying to empty your brain of all that traffic in there, try to focus like right now. We were all silent. I zoom in on the hum of that refrigerator over there. He said, just zoom in on one sound. That way you can't not think about anything that doesn't exist. If you're not thinking about something, that means you're thinking about not thinking about something. So you can't not think. But zoom in on something, one thing. I'm listening to that refrigerator. That's where I'm at. I'm zooming in there. That allows my brain to let go of all the other stuff and get as quiet as it's been all year. And then what I found personally, in the 15th minute, my meditations are 30 minutes. After the 15th minute, answers, you guys. Answers to everything that's going on in my life start flying at me like crazy. You wouldn't even believe it. Somebody told me, when I told them meditation didn't do shit for me, somebody said, you're not staying in it long enough. And the minute I dedicated myself to 30 minutes, there's a magic button at minute number 15. I don't even know what it is. Can't explain it. But for me, in minute number 15 and beyond,
Sometimes you knock out.
whatever, the answers come. That means you got to stay in it. So try it. It's magic, I'm telling you. So I meditate in the morning and then I prep myself. I'm actually like taking a piano lesson. So I practice the piano and I work out every day in one form or another and just kind of get things that get me right with me before that 8:30 buzzer sounds. The buzzer is work starts, 8:30, and then, but it's part of that time, I probably sent Marlon 8 texts. He probably wondering, what the hell is he doing up at 4:30 in the morning? But the point is, all of the thoughts become clear because the world is quiet. And when it's quiet, you can think clearly and the phone's not ringing and people aren't bugging you and begging you for stuff and ask. So meditate, collect your thoughts, plan the day, work out, do whatever is good for me. Piano is good for me now because I just want to get good at it. It's just on my list. And then the day begins. And the night before, I've mapped out my calendar for the day. So Marlon and Amanda and Aaron, my assistants, all see the calendar. Anything they know I'm responsible for, they have the ability to put it on my calendar. And they see what I've planned for time that I got to do stuff. So the calendar is a shared Google calendar. And now we all operate from that calendar. And there's from 8:30 till 7 p.m. is go time, efficient time. Don't waste a minute time. We all know our roles. We know what we got to do because we're doing a lot. We broker, we invest, we fix and flip, and I coach. So there's a whole lot going on in our world. We got to be organized about it. I got to know where I'm going to be at 4 o'clock. I got to know we're showing a $4 million house at 3 o'clock after I leave you guys. So the point is, we better know what the heck we're doing. And the night before is when that takes shape. That way you're not running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't want to be in the react business. I want to be in the proact business. I want to be proactive. I don't want to be reacting to phone calls, reacting to emails. Oh, somebody said this is an emergency. There ain't no emergency, okay? There are no emergencies. Emergencies that's somebody else's agenda that they're imposing on you. Organize what you need to do. You know what you need to do and keep the important things important. I find that salespeople they love distractions and emergencies because it gets them out of doing what they know they need to be doing. You know you need to be prospecting. You know you need to talk to 50 people today. You know you need to call your sphere of influence. You know you need to call everybody that you closed escrow with last year. You know you need to do all these things. But you love the fact that somebody called with an urgent problem. Wait, hold on, I can't cold call now. Somebody's I gotta go rescue their cat. Come on, don't let the unimportant things take you away from the important things. Your job is to make rain. You only make rain by talking to people who do business with you. Sorry, no way around it. You gotta talk to somebody. And if you're a walking billboard and everybody who you know knows what you do, we're about to play music. Who's up here? Oh, well, so much for the rest of the audience. You guys get the rest. But,
Oh, I know they left.
oh, I thought we blanked them out. But the point is, keep the important things important. And I don't know if you guys know the theory of the rocks in the jar. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this, right? Guys, you got a bunch of rocks. You got to all put them all in the jar, right? You got a bunch of big rocks, and a bunch of medium rocks, a bunch of little rocks, right? Pebbles. If you take all the little stuff and you put it in the jar first, you take all the medium-sized rocks and you put them in the jar second, and then you try to put the big rocks in the jar, the big rocks don't fit in the jar because all this little stuff is in there. Well, that's like your tasks in your day in your life. The big rocks are the revenue-producing activities. Put those in the jar first. The other stuff is not quite as important, but it relates to business. Those are the medium rocks. You put them in second. And all this little minutia, these pebbles and sand, just pour them in and they all find their way into the jar and fit where they can. But you handled your big rocks first. And the big rocks are where you get paid. And the big rocks are where you change your life. And the big rocks are where you change other people's lives. And the big rocks are where you make a difference. You become the go-to in your family and in your neighborhood where you're with your friends. And not everybody's capable of what you're capable of. So you got large responsibilities. In my world, I got large responsibilities because if somebody's in trouble, guess who they're calling? Me. Guess who? That's what I feel like if I can't help. See, I know I was put here to come to the rescue for some folks who can't do what I can do. God gave me these skills to do big things. If I mess around and don't fulfill my abilities that God gave me, then I'm not going to be able to help the 100 people that I know I need to help. See, it's not just about me. It's selfish of you not to fulfill your potential. It's selfish of me not to make $5 million. Because then I can't do for the other people who can't do for themselves. You understand? See, I'm the chairman of the scholarship committee for the Jackie Robinson Foundation, right? We give 60 kids a year $80,000 for college, right? But if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, then I can't give the scholarship that I want to give, or the 2 or 3 or 4. I'm the first person to give that scholarship back. I won that scholarship. They paid for my college education 100 years ago. I was determined to be the first one to give that scholarship back. I gave it back. Now I'm the chairman of that committee. Now I've given a bunch of those scholarships back. But the point is, if I don't go and do what God put me here to do, I don't get to go give those scholarships. And then I'm letting somebody else down. They're not gonna get their life chance because I underperformed. See? You're selfish if you don't fulfill your potential. You're being selfish. You know what you're capable of. And if you don't do it, it's like spitting in God's face. Saying, you gave me all these great tools, God, and I'm blowing it. Come on, we have an obligation to win. And not everybody in your world can win. You know that. Not everybody was given the gifts you're given. Somebody out there has to go struggle through and do a regular job and make a regular amount of money, but you're capable of more. That makes it your obligation. You go do more and then spread it around. And then it comes back to you and stays. Right?
Yeah, beautiful.
Any other questions before you guys break for lunch?
Paula?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, observation,
Okay.
and not just for me, but also I think it would benefit everybody else. I know you are great and everything based on what I hear.
I'm about to say but.
No, not bad either one.
But
However.
anyway, I know you have all your record, but I still have the question on the appointment that you went, and you said that 4 people, or you were the 4th person. Okay, maybe give us, like, you were so confident, how do you know those 3 agents or 4 agents before you that they didn't deliver what?
You wanna know why? Okay, I can tell you. Let me give you an easy formula. Easy formula. You can become an expert in any neighborhood, anywhere in the world, but we're just doing this simple thing, right? Okay, so I know most agents go in there and they'll do a CMA and they'll basically talk about how great their firm is, et cetera, et cetera. first thing that I do is I sit down and I want to ask those sellers, what is your objective? What is your goal? What is it you're trying to accomplish? And then inside of that, I find out through their conversation how motivated they are, find out how stuck on price they are, find out how much they hate real estate agents or not. You get under the skin of where they're trying to go and why they're trying to go there, right? Whether it's price, reason for moving, etc. So it's a personal. I tell people I'm not in the real estate business. I'm in the people business. So let me get to know the people and what their motivations are first. Because if you find out all of that, they give you the keys to the kingdom. They give you the roadmap to their heart. They're gonna tell you, if you interview them the right way, if you ask the right questions, they'll tell you everything. Well, we're moving because we got transferred to a new job. We're moving because we hate each other. We're getting a divorce. We're moving because they're gonna tell you if you ask sincerely, sit down with them, slow down enough to get to know the people. And guess what? Here's the funny magic thing. If you ask people enough of the right questions, they leave that meeting thinking they know you really well. What'd you say? I said, if you ask people the right question in the right way, they leave that meeting thinking they know you really well. And you asked all the questions. How about that? I know I sat down with those two sellers and I was way more personal and genuine than those other agents. I didn't just whip out my CMA and say, look how great Daron is. I sold $4 billion worth of real estate. They don't care about that. They got an objective of their own that had nothing to do with $4 billion. I don't go in there saying I was number 2 in the world at RE/MAX out of 110,000 agents. They still don't know that. I asked the right question. I got to what it is their objective was. And then I explained to them step by step how I was going to get them there while handling all the details. They don't know Marlon handles most of the detail, but I explained to them and made them comfortable that I understand what the goal is, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. Then, step number 2, pricing. Pricing. Everyone's worried about pricing. I don't worry about pricing. I'm going to win the pricing war. You want to know why? Because after they love me, 20 minutes later, and we start talking about pricing, and they start coming up with their unrealistic numbers and everything, then I reach into my magic briefcase and whip out my special form of a CMA, which is, here's what you can do. You want to conquer any new market, deliver to people what has sold in their neighborhood, what is for sale currently in their neighborhood, and what has expired in their neighborhood. Last 6 months, probably a good enough window. In Southern California, 6 months is probably the right window. Have all of that evidence at your disposal, like a gun in a holster, after initially discussing price. To see if they're pushing that. If they don't push back and they say, "Damn, we agree, it's worth $722,000. That's what I'm saying." Yeah, okay, good. All right, then talk to mom and let's get you signed up. But when I say it's worth $722,000, they go, "We were hoping for $850." Then I reach into my holster and pull out my evidence. Everything that's for sale, everything that's sold, and everything that expired. That's the most important one. You want to get them off of $850? Show them what's expired. They go, shit, there were all the $850s. Yeah, all the $850s. Yeah. Hello, do you really want to sell or you want to languish on the market for 122 days like this guy? Boom, I just crushed all the pricing objective and I only brought it out to crush theirs. I didn't bring it out to show how great a proposal I know how to make, how pretty it is, who's there in Campbell, there's my bio. I leave it in the briefcase until they have a problem with the price I'm recommending. And I take this out only to squash it. Works like a charm. Works like a charm.
But what about I was thinking, I'm thinking right now as the loan officers, no? Their life,
Yeah.
what they have.
Yes.
Because most of us, we're kind of realtors and we have that situations all the time. But what about the loan officer, like you said, they know the market, they know the interest rate, because the interest rates are not like way apart.
No.
It's not like if somebody has a 5% and the other person has a 7.
No.
It's kind of cent in between. And those are the, even I'm not a loan officer, sometimes I'm a real estate agent. I just talk to the client and say, what is it? I asked to Tanya, it's like $150 or $80 or this. Let's just make those comparisons and numbers. Maybe that would be applied for the
Well,
loans.
you
You
gotta
got the
think about-
numbers, because for you will not have like the price point, you would have the rejection or the payment.
Yeah.
What is your payment that you're looking for? Yeah.
Right, and see, the thing is, when you get squeezed down to commodities where everyone, we all know generally what the interest rate is in the world, right? We pretty much same time, I know that it's 7%, same time you do, and he does, and she does, right? We all pretty much know that. So you gotta overcome it by separating yourself and not being part of the commodity. You gotta be the agent who helps them overcome those fears, who answers those questions, who assures them that I'm not gonna put you in a 7.5% loan if there's a 7.1 out there. I can assure you, I won't leave one stone unturned until I find you the very best loan out there. I'm the one to do it. That's where you differentiate yourself. If the product is a commodity, then the agent better not be. I better not be interchangeable with everybody else in this room if we all got the same product to sell. Differentiate yourself if the product is the same. The difference is you. The difference is the kid. The difference is the sitting at that table and asking them the questions that make them feel like, oh, she cared. If that loan is bad for you at the expense of my commission check, I'm probably going to tell you not to take it. If I detect that, if I have any reason to believe the interest rates are going to go down in the next 30 days, I'm probably going to tell you, let's not move, let's wait, at the expense of my paycheck.
Yes.
Now, oh shoot, she cares about me, not her paycheck. It's help people get enough of what they want, you'll get everything you want.
That's the
It's a fact. Fact. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing.
We still have another 30, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I just feel like, honestly, when we're working and I said, well, we need to leave, this is not real estate. I don't know how we got here. Yeah, to the financial industry, we're like financial advisors. But we're dealing with clients, I think the common sense, they're very similar.
So,
Here, people don't care how much you know, people care how
How
much
much
you
you care.
care. So, I always will say like meditation, I get up at 4:50 in the morning, I do the workout, the meditation, all of that. But in terms of meditation, a lot of times I sitting there and my mind is all over the places. I can never really quite.
We all have that problem.
Yeah, so I want to ask you another question is, everything you say is really beautiful. And we've learned, even we know all the principle, but we have learned a lot, the reconform what we need to do. But how have you trained any agents, team members work with you? Because if you want to achieve the exponential growth, you cannot be one man hero. You have team working with you for logistic, but to grow the business, you want to have a team member, agent work with you so you can. So how do you work out that?
Well, there are a number of ways to do that. I've been the owner or co-owner of 3 different real estate companies now. And what I've done, more than build it, I've had a team before where I had 4 buyers agents, 4 assistants, and a couple of listing agents. That's one platform. And then as co-owner of a couple of different firms, I've had situations where I bring other agents on to co-list with me. There have been times when I've had 14, 15, 18 listings, and obviously I'm not doing 18 open houses one minute. I bring other people on. Here's the thing, you gotta understand, if you help other people eat at the table, you get to eat more. So you can't be afraid, and I can't be afraid to say, hey, so co-list this with me because I know you work that area or you know that product better than me. Join me on this. I get all these leads, I got all these clients, I got all these repeat people. Hey, join me on this listing. Let's split it. You're gonna do most of the running on it. I'll be in the background and I'll help you negotiate, et cetera, et cetera. But again, know what your limitations are, but again, make more by doing less. Bring on more partners. I brought on so many partners that, co-list. So now they got real incentive to go and kick some butt. Because one, there's a free paycheck I'm offering you. I'm offering you a gift. Join me on this and let's get paid together. And then they also know better do a good job. Because that guy generates 50 deals a year and he'll come back to me and give me more. So the sharing philosophy is real. I've been, in one manner or another, have shared commission checks with a whole lot of different people. And then by contrast, the funny thing is that comes back to me in multiple. Because guess who those people's go-to guy is when they need a heavy hitter to come in? Me, every time, right? And then a funny trick was when I was still mostly selling apartment buildings, I went to every residential agent I knew and said, listen, let me tell you something, let me make you a deal. You bring all your high net worth home buyers to me, and I'll teach them how to invest. And then I'll never step on your toes. I'll never sell them a house.
What?
He's 25% of whatever I make in life. The guy Matt Epstein in Sherman Oaks, he sells houses like crazy. He has made 18 paychecks from me because he handed me his high net worth people who want to buy apartment buildings. So strategic partnerships and not being greedy will make you rich. Share the wealth. Share the wealth. We all do better if we are open to working with each other. And I know what your expertise is, and I know what your level of hustle is, and I know what your energy is. There's a way I can incorporate you into my business so we both make money. I'm better off for doing it. I'm better off from splitting a paycheck with you and making an ally with you for life than I am going, no, I'm going to work extra hard and keep it all to myself. I'd rather bring you in, chop that paycheck, because guess what you're going to do down the road when you go, hey, I knew you got somebody who knows apartments who can sell snow to Eskimos. Get that deal again. Right? You're going to come back and bring me into the next 5 deals that you need somebody on. So people don't understand. A closed fist, a closed mouth gets nothing. A closed fist can't take anything in. Be like this, and I can collect. I can pick up. I can take things in. Share the wealth. You don't get rich by being a one-man show. You become wealthy by making everybody part of your team in the appropriate place. Think about it. My group of preferred vendors, escrow, title, pest control, roofer, whatever. Trying to make that a solid group, because if they understand that you bring them all of your business that they can do, guess what they start referring all their business that you can do to you. The escrow people I work with send their home leads, home buyer and seller leads to me. Now I don't know how many other realtors they work with. I know I get all their referrals. My lender, I'm doing the 4th deal tomorrow. I'm closing the 4th deal tomorrow in the last 4 months from my hard money lender. He lends me money on some of my deals. I give him all my deals because we have a relationship like this. But guess what he does? Everybody who comes to him and says, I want to finance this, I want to finance that, they go, okay, well, you need a great realtor, call Daron. I'm closing deal number 4 tomorrow from this guy. He handed me these people. Why? Because I'm dedicated to him on the lending side. You're better off having one of everything and saying, look, let's do business together. You got somebody who needs to buy a house or somebody who needs to get a loan, you send them to me because I'm going to send you all my escrow. You're almost better off, in many cases, in my opinion, kind of having your go-to team, your frontline team. You saw a team up there? In my world, it's title, it's escrow, it's a lender, it's my roofer, it's my termite guy. These people consider themselves on my team, right? I got one of everything, right? And if I say Daron Campbell's about to do a big home buyer seminar, I need everybody to sponsor something. Boom. Okay, Daron, I got the food. Okay, Daron, I'll buy the bar. Okay. My go-to people, they know they're going to get 50 deals for me this year. So guess what they'll do for me? Any freaking thing I ask, right? The relationships are everything. Build them. Build them. Get your go-to people. Marlon and I were in the car driving here from Studio City just this morning, and the escrow guy called up and said, hey, Daron, good luck on the workshop you're doing. If you ever need me to sponsor food or anything for one of those things, I got you. Right, Marlon? Just happened this morning.
Yeah, we call him next time.
Yeah, we'll call him next time. But the point is, they'll do that because that will enhance your business. The 4 deals this guy handed me are amount to like $200,000 in commission. It's like, yes. for being devoted, for being dedicated, for making that guy a member of my team. How about that? Everybody, decide who you're working with and work with them. Don't be all over the place. Laser in, get your team. Hey, you're on my team. I'm sending you all my escrow. You're on my team. I'm sending you all my title. My title rep takes me to play golf at Wilshire Country Club on a monthly basis. And that's an expensive place to play golf and eat. And we play all the golf we want and we eat all the expensive food we want, because that's what title allows him to do without, used to be better. That's a whole other story. But that's within what he can do for a dedicated guy. Well, guess what? He knows he gets all my titles. He'll do 40, 50, 60 deals because Daron handed them to him. He'll do anything within the law that we want him to do.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my recommendation.
That's very good.
And it works in any business, whatever you do, whatever financial planning, whatever. Same idea applies. You got your team, you got your assets, you know how to leverage yourself up, you get dedicated to people, make the people feel like you have their best interest in mind, not your fee. Oh, wait, the last story. That family that I sold 57 apartment buildings to, 57. Do you know what happened on deal number 2? Deal number 2. We got into this crazy negotiation and we had a $90,000 profit. And the buyers did not want to go up any higher, and the sellers did not want to come down any lower, and there's $90,000 in the gap. And my commission was $120-something thousand, $122,000, something like that. And we were at a stalemate. And I went to my manager and said, hey, John, we might have to contribute something to help make this deal happen. So I'm willing to give up, a good chunk of my commission. And he said to me, it's funny, manager of the firm said to me, well, Daron, we don't do things like that. We don't participate in that. So anything you eat is going to come out of your paycheck. I go, wait a minute. This company are doing this deal, and that's our commission. And you said, I got to eat the whole thing myself? He's like, yep, sorry. Like, okay. So he thought I was going to go back to my client and say, well, we can't participate. That's what he really wanted me to do. I went back to my client and said, listen, I'm going to split with the company. I'm only going to take home a little more than half. I'm only going to make like $7 grand or whatever, but I'll put it all in if it means, you guys can keep doing the deal, because I want you to be clients for life. Client said, Daron, just because you said that, you're our guy. We're going to go ahead and write the check, keep your commission, but just know you're our broker for life. Did I know that was deal number 2 out of 57? No. Did that win me their dedication for life? Yes. Gotta do what's in the client's best interest. Not necessarily management's best interest. Not necessarily what, thinking about what you're gonna eat tomorrow or how you're gonna pay your rent. The long-term picture. How much commission you think I made in 57 apartment building transactions? Hello? So, lesson learned. Your client's best interest is your best. And on that note, I guess we're gonna end. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Well, guys, do you brought the book? Do you want to donate? Wait a second, let me bring my, I have some raffles.
Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna give away a couple of books. Also, if anybody wants some information on my $1 million business makeover, I coach one-on-one and transform people's businesses. I guarantee that I can make 25% more next year than you made this year if you do what I say. And it's not for everyone because it's not cheap. But if you're interested, take one of these or talk to me after and we'll talk.
Okay, son dos. ¿Se pegar por 2 personas?
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
If we take a picture with Daron before you leave,
Oh,
yeah, business card.
yeah.
Business card. Okay, so do you-
Oh, actually, also the registration. This is when the back.
We go to that now. Okay, the winner of the book. Well, now we take a picture with Okay, okay.
I do advertising and
Oh, so guys, I'm gonna give away a great book by Michael Gerber called The E-Myth. E-Myth Revisited. And you might win it today. And then I just finished a book about distressed property. I think we're about to see a lot of distressed properties. Does everybody know about distressed properties?
I'm sorry, that was my question. What do you think about the market, by the way?
Okay, what I think about the market.
Really quick.
We are in a recession, believe it or not. We don't really know, most people don't know about it until we've been in it for about a year. But we are in a recession. It's gonna affect inventory. It's gonna affect prices.
Thank you, guys, everyone.
Inflation goes up.
Hopefully, everybody got the ability to listen
It's
and
still two markets.
learn something.
There's still plenty of money chasing not enough deals, but then there's an undercurrent of distressed property. You watch notices of default, they have quadrupled since last year. Quadrupled. Which means there's going to be an undercurrent of foreclosure activity that'll help lower this a little bit more. But there's still plenty of money in the streets, plenty of money in the streets. So we're not gonna go into some tailspin, bottom right market. These two markets will coexist. And the opportunity is watch the notice of default and trustee sale activity, because there will be a foreclosure market. But at the same time, there's no shortage of money. So play both of those games at the same time. Most recessions, the average recession lasts 19 months. 19 months. So we'll go into this recession, will last about 2 years, and then we'll come racing out. And you start to see lower interest.
So you think it will?
So she wins one book, Paula Mejia. I know you want to give her one book.
Okay, which one is it?
Well, I'm good. This is probably more than sold 10 million copies.
Okay.
I haven't quite sold 10 million, but it's good.
Thank you.
It's like,
Say that you're worried. What happened?
and Grace, you need to go and buy the lottery. Are you already buying the lottery, you know? Why not?
You're a born winner.
You need to, she wins
All the time.
All the time, she's like, she needs to buy it.
All I brought was
Hi,
two
Darren.
That's okay, but I have.
Hi.
books.
And the other one, for your gas, $25.
Me. Hi, Sonia.
Daron, come maybe over there. Let's go over to the. Yeah, you're right. I'm taking a picture of it.
That's just,
Hold it up. Oh, I mean, really, I gotta get technical. Should we come here one time and speak to you? Would you like to come to our office?
Guys, can we take a picture first and then go back to talk? Everybody.
It's probably coming out.
Yeah, gonna be nice.
But it's.
Coach Social Security. Del Seguro Social. Tú sabes que no tiene los clientes. Sí, y ya están para retirarse. ¿Cómo le hago?
So did your company actually?
We do, and we do. So that's why. Everybody doesn't have teams. We all are like 2000. Give me something. And
Except with Brandon, which is getting kind of garage, maybe be able to use it for additional income. So that'd be somebody that. So you had, they wanted to turn it into, maybe you just send you like, all the kind of specs in my office.
we do everything. So you have your brand. Or we talk to you, like you can tell me anything.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, it's not like, it's when we go to your house, or, you know, it's kind of all I would say, give me your address, and we will check everything before we go to you, we know it's eligible. Because, you know, money, money.
Yeah,
You remember me?
I remember you from a Sonia event, right?
No, I worked. I used to work. Remember Jeff?
Yeah, of course. So it's just still, I mean, from Colorado.
I don't think so. I've seen him.
I figured that movie Colorado was gonna make it in Colorado.
I think he still does both things, but.
I don't know, it's been a minute. Got this big here.
Real estate.
Actually,
Oh.
It's up, no, you're right. You gotta build it, actually.
Very cool. Just me out here, you bring
I'm out. Well, it's a mom.
But.
I don't have something to list it off as well.
Oh, excellent. Real
So
estate.
and I.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to bring your clients in.
I meant stop shop.
Yeah, that's one stop shop. Yeah, that's what I think, right? The jack of all trades.
Yeah, with that. I got that.
Yeah.
And that's what you were saying about, people calling you for, yeah. I've experienced with my client, they call me for anything real estate, like CPA, like, oh, business, I don't know, business, like, you consult me on this business, like, well, let's just talk about it. If I know it's not, here's the other person. That's it. You just gotta know, I have a problem about it,
But that's what you really want, your mom coming in
for any.
and then I get to decide,
It's just like you're in your, Indiana or any, like, yeah, Darren's got to stay. I don't believe you. It sounds good, but let me go talk to Darren.
Yeah, my God, but my God. Yeah. That's the whole idea. Is it for you? So your office is for?
Yeah, you're in.
My, Beverly Hills is my office, but Cedar City is where I live. Okay, cool. I got here.
You're going against traffic.
Yes, that's good for your. That's
The hour.
tomorrow. Yes. Yeah, it's behind crazy. 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 after 9, right?
Yeah, that's something that might have to state. It's great like that.
It's not that far, you can see it.
On a clear day. But to get there, it's crazy, right? If I get your card.
Yeah.
Jeremiah
No,
owns-
my mom is French, the owner.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, look up Mr. Epson on Facebook, he's all over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everywhere he goes, he created that persona. You know, him in the shirt, got, he
That's
does,
the brand.
yeah, he goes to the reader thing.
Is that right?
He's all blamed out because your mom not blamed mom.
Oh, right.
I'm trying to, no, I'm trying to create his image. Oh, no, it's good. I was telling these people, I found about the 70 office and all that.
Yes, very good. Yeah, so you actually have like reading people in
No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, good. You know, you do that. And it's good. It does. I really like it. Nice to meet you, and I'm looking forward and reading the great book. I will read it. I even like the cover, just the cover is good.
It's very intelligent thinking about entrepreneurship. As an entrepreneur, a lot of times you get down in business, but if you treat it like you just bought yourself a job, then you're not really building an entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is about creating a system and leverage. Right? So
Leverage.
you want to put things in place that operate, make you money while you sleep, as opposed to most entrepreneurs find themselves an 80-hour week job. They go from a 40-hour week job to an 80-hour week.
No, I will.
In your pocket,
Oh, thank you.
paper so you remember.
Very good, so thank you.
Well, thank you so
So
much.
thank you again, thank you so much. We'll see you, Erin.
You will, the sun is gonna drag me back down here. Aaron, I need you, okay.
Okay, yeah.
It's a relationship.
Sonia and I have been working long time.
But that is a long relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Coming saw the other day, the 2018.
2018?
You
Yeah,
got
next to the video. Was 2018, the first time that we called you for the, with Tristan Almada.
I work like.
In Chile. Yeah, I was a Tristan on that. The other day, usted veía,
Somehow, bros,
For,
yeah,
many years.
no sé lo que es.
More than
Yeah, but you wasn't in the Chile. That's how we met the first time.
That's funny.
So taking videos.
I have a question for you.
I think it's so funny. Everything.
Oh, no, maybe.
Okay, it's good.
It's,
Yes, ma'am.
Do you happen to have something, how do you do the 5 years down?
Maybe. I never built anything, but I might have something. Did you give me your card? Well, just, well, just send me your info and I'll.
Do you have the scanner?
Yeah.
take a picture, the camera to do it.
Okay, sí,
Qué bueno. donde estamos en.
I took a picture.
You know how it's Campbell?
There's a couple of like, you know.
This is Campbell.
I
know.
Next page is.
I thank you so much.
I heard.
Nine for seven.
I'll find it. I get one in the vision board meeting. Done at 10. So I'll find it.
Vision board, I was thinking, we need to.
No,
Let me just, that's the one important thing. Well, you play it, I just, I know, maybe we can talk after later.
We had a good time. We had a good time. See how it-
No, thank you.
They seem to enjoy it, so I'm happy.
I'm gonna have her.
They want like it, all the people that know, you know, the states.
So you have a lot of.
Yeah, we have. Five years.
¿Te lo va a mandar?
Right.
You didn't